from the foot.
You always just like when that defenders have been given like.
And we're live, people. Deluded. I'm back again. Zara's in different surroundings today, man. How are you, my friend?
Good, my bro. I hope you can hear me and there's no background noise. I'm actually down in Florida. I'm at my nephew's youth team football game. They're when I left, it was halftime. They were 1-1. It's the final, but yeah. No, I'm doing all right, man. How you doing, man?
Well, I'm good, man. You should be watching the final,
You
not
can you,
here with me, man.
you can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Oh,
Like,
perfect. No,
wish your nephew
I've
the best
seen
of
it.
luck in that.
I've seen the kid play, man. I've seen him play a couple games. He's doing all right. He's playing right back. He's a left-footed right back today. It's a madness, bro.
How old is he?
He's 11. He's
You
playing
need to be getting him
he's
signed
playing
up
two.
by a club or something, man.
Yeah, bro. He's playing two. He's playing like an age group up. He's turning 11 this year, so he's playing an age group up. He's playing under 11s, and it's the mentality. The mentality is what I'm worried about, man. But yeah, no. Hopefully we have a young Gooner. Anything can change from now till 14. Hopefully we have a young Gooner on our hands, man.
Well, get him signed up by one of them MLS clubs, man. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna hold you too long. The first thing I want to
No,
ask
bro.
you,
We got time. I got time for you, bro. I got time for you.
my guy, man. The first thing I want to ask you, man, how you feeling about Arsenal? Obviously, we beat Leicester 2-0. Moreno shining up front, Ethan the Starboy, yada yada yada.
That game was, let's be honest, Deluded. Let's be honest with each other. That game was brutal. The 80 minutes, the
Only in the last 10.
first 80 minutes of that game were brutal to watch, bro. It is the state of affairs during that 80, the fact that the only person, bro, we're in a title race. The only person that decided, hey, let me actually show up and play like I'm in a title race, the only person that did that was the youngest player on the field.
That's a bit
Ethan
harsh on
Nwaneri.
Timber and Saliba and Gabriel and everyone. That's a bit harsh.
Bro, I needed more out of them. So the defenders. So that's the thing, right? So the defenders are very hard to judge. Very hard to judge because well, not really very hard, but the defenders did their job. We got out of there with a clean sheet. That's what the defenders are there to do primarily. This is more from like midfield up, man. That first 80, man. It was Sterling, bro. Would you think that was Raheem Sterling, the Raheem Sterling that we saw playing at Man City, the Raheem Sterling that we saw playing at Liverpool? I mean, is that the same person that we got, or that's a completely different player? Because now, bro, and I'm trying not my hardest, Deluded, not to be too harsh at
No,
all,
man, we want you. Sometimes
but
life is harsh. Give us all your Raheem Sterling thoughts, man. Raheem Sterling
I
struggled.
don't get how bad I just don't understand how bad he is. This is a guy that told us that the best out of me is yet to come. This is a guy that Arteta did him a favor. This guy would have been rotting. He would have been rotting.
You don't
He
reckon
would
he
have been
did
rotting.
Arteta a favor as well? Because we wouldn't have signed anyone else. But this is what Rizal's talking about. You'll see the best of me.
See the best of me. Bro, I think Arteta did him more of a favor than he did us a favor, bro. I mean, because to be
We
honest,
wouldn't have had another attacker if Sterling didn't sign for us. So don't you think it's a mutual interest? It's a relationship of convenience.
what's he done, my brother? Tell me one memorable moment from a guy that I would have expected would hit the ground running. Because this is a guy that's been in the Premier League his whole career. He knows the league in and out. This is an experienced player, bro. I thought we were getting a ready-made item that will actually contribute. And till what? It's February. The what's the date today? It's February the 16th, 17th, the 17th of February, and I'm still waiting.
But has he had an opportunity though? Has he had a run of games?
You see, that you can argue that, but just even his readiness. his readiness, because you argue that I feel you on that, but I'm gonna take you back a year or two, bro. Edin Ketia, I was out there saying that about Edin Ketia, being like, bro, he's a rhythm guy, give him a run of games. People had zero patience with him. So I don't know if I'm actually patient for this guy. He's deluded. If you're at least in the bit parts that you're coming on, right? He comes on 10, 15 minutes every game into the game. At least if you show me just the minimum effort energy, he doesn't do the minimums. He looks unfit. He looks overweight.
Because he hasn't been starting. He does look tubby, man. He does look tubby.
How is
like
this a guy?
Physically, I do wonder if he's done, because he has been playing since 16, 17.
Yeah, and it's like, this is a guy that's like, yeah, bro, you were rescued out of a situation, out of this Chelsea situation by Arteta. At least stick your neck out on the line for the guy that got you out of the Chelsea under 23s, where you would have been rotting, collecting your 300k a week.
Can you accuse him of not trying though? Because it's one thing to talk about his ability and his form and everything. Do you really think he's not trying?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you can't really accuse anybody of not trying. He is trying, but it just isn't working. I just don't understand how it isn't working this much, man. I don't get it, but I don't know. But then again, as you alluded to a little earlier, he's all we have. He is all we have. So me sitting here bashing him left, right, and center, it does nothing. Does nothing for me personally. I need him to do well. If he does well, then I do well. So we just gotta stick to the guy. So he was my main down point. I thought Trossard.
Before you go off to the other,
ahead.
hold your thoughts on the other players. Yeah, do you think he's a couple of questions that I think are quite good because they're on brand with Sterling? Yeah, do you think he's worse than Willian in an Arsenal shirt? First of all,
yeah. So far, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you think? Do you think it's? What do you have it down to? Because I think big up Brom, he's a member. I think this is on brand with Sterling. Do you have it down as it could be everything, but is it a run of form? Is he down on his luck? Does he look lost and he's lacking confidence? Is it a fitness thing? Is it like what Brom's alluding to here? And like you said, he's been playing since 16, 17, which most players coming to the game around 19. Is he ran into the ground then? Like, is he damaged goods in the first place?
That could play a factor, right? That could play a factor. But then I look around and see other guys that are his age or even older than him, bro. Someone like Jamie Vardy. Look at the shape that Jamie Vardy's in at 40. Yeah, he's not as fast and as electric. He's not as fast and as electric as he was,
he's affecting the games though, which is the minimum.
Years ago. He's affecting the games, and just looking at him, you can tell that, all right, this is a guy that's actually serious about playing longevity. Sterling, brother, you look at Sterling deluded. Sterling looks like me. Sterling looks like me. That is a problem. I don't work out. How can you be looking like me if I don't work out? It's just, I've been sitting and stewing on it. Bro, I've been so patient. I've been sitting and stewing on this, and that game broke me. That game broke me and it kind of scared me, because that is the only option we have until the end of the season. So we need a miracle. And football's a funny game, bro. Football's a funny game. The ball just goes into the back of the net, and that can change his fortune. Goes into the back of the net, it could be a tap in, it could be a penalty kick, it could be something.
At this point, it needs to go in off his ear or his shin pad or his backside or something.
Yeah, because I am being harsh. He has looked lively. He has looked so, like, for example, people are gonna say, oh, it's just Preston, but he looked lively in the Preston game, and I forgot what other one that he. I think there was a Premier League
said, he looks okay against Man United to a slight degree. Do you know what? I feel like Palace in the cup as well. I might be wrong. I feel like that, but it's on one hand. And
yes,
to be honest, I'm just asking you just to gauge the guide points. I think you're bang on the money. The only point I disagree with is about he's doing Arteta a favor. I think personally, we made a mess of the transfer window. It was a relationship of convenience. You're not playing at Chelsea. We know what our manager knows how you operate, and you're not a bad egg. We need a player. You're a player, Nelson, and on one hand, I don't feel he's been trusted. I hate him on the right hand side. I do think everyone can understand you need a rhythm and all of that jazz. But unfortunately, life isn't fair. If life was fair, we'd all have a lot less. And if we use that from a footballing context, right? If every one of our attackers got fair minutes, we'd have less goals, indirectly less points, and we'd have better performances. We wouldn't have 2 L's in it, really. My issue with Sterling, though, is regardless of, run of form and all of that, life isn't fair right now. People are being thrown in and having to do it. And you are, like you've been saying, you're an experienced guy. You've been at big clubs, high pressure moments, all of that kind of jazz. And I think where you look at the Leicester game, I don't think it was his worst performance. I think the most frustrating thing is you can't stay on side, but it was one where we never got anything. And it's sad, but you came off the bench, we scored. Young Ethan is affecting the game through 90 minutes. Trossard isn't playing amazing, but Arteta is willing to gamble on Trossard's quality, which was evidently validated with a fantastic assist for Moreno's second goal. So we're in the pits with Sterling. But like, as you said there, it's like you're going to have another chance. We can't guarantee. And I don't know where you're at. Would you start Moreno up front against West Ham, or would you keep with Sterling? And do you think, like, if he was to score, he can kickstart what's left of this season until the end of it? Or is it just, I've kind of checked out and sold all my stocks with Sterling?
I've been stewing over that. That's a tough one. Do we keep our same front three, or are we tempted to put Moreno in? I was shocked. I was shocked when he came in. Bro. I was impressed by, so I had seen a bit of it in midfield with him. His spatial awareness is pretty good. I had seen that in central midfield. So that's a completely different ball game, having spatial awareness in midfield as opposed to being up front. Bro, when he came on, he was filling in the right channels. His movement was in the right channels. It was unbelievable. That first goal, he drifted away. He drifted away.
Led to Ethan hitting the post as well.
The Ethan. When
he did well in his cameo, man. Big up Mikel Merino. Yeah,
the right footed shot. I do remember that. Bro, him, the way he peeled off the back of for his first goal, the way he peeled off the back of the defender, he had him in front. You could see the defender in front of him. He went in between the two defenders, in there with the header, and then the movement for the second one, him going back post, Trossard putting it right on the money. That gave me a bit of hope that at least this guy somewhat seems spatially competent to fill in that role. The finish for the second goal, absolute quality.
Can't guarantee any other players are going to do that in an Arsenal shirt, bar the obvious candidates, the stackers and co.
I saw someone on Twitter say Havertz doesn't score that.
Side nettings with Havertz, man.
Yeah, I'm like, lie. All right, yeah, maybe he doesn't. Beautiful finishing, and that gave us the hope. I mean, the guy isn't mobile. He's not a mobile striker. We're probably
don't buy strikers. We make them.
There it is. There it is. Change DMs into strikers. He's not mobile, so we're probably gonna have to play the same way in which Havertz did. And just based off that 10-minute cameo, how he filled in, ran the channels, filled in the spaces and all. To be honest, I don't know. Shout out to Kai. He's a good player. I don't know how much we're missing. In Havertz. Ooh. If Merino keeps doing that.
Why? What makes you say that?
That bro, the movement in that 10 minutes, the spaces that he was filling in, the striker's instinct, because that was instinctual. Being in the right place for those two crosses, that's instinctual kind of stuff. That's instinctual. Proper strikers do that. So that kind of gives me a glimmer of hope. And then of course the finish for the header, we all know he can header, but the finish for the second one is, was
apart from the guy Osaka and Trossard on his best of days, I can't guarantee any of the Arsenal attackers, excluding Ethan, finished that one there. I think Havertz is that side netting.
Yeah, as you mentioned, only Saka and Trossard's probably our best finishers. Only them two will do that, and it was shocking, and I was so happy. I was so happy for him because, bro, people have said a whole lot of nonsense this season about Merino and all, and we forget that because we're so desperate and where we are in our I hate using this word, in our process, because we're right there. We're trying to go for the thing. People are less patient. He was coming from a different league. completely different league. Granted, he did have experience in the Premier League with Newcastle, but that was what? That was like 5 years ago, and it was just a couple games. So him coming from a different league, he was gonna need time to settle into Arteta's system and all, and people just didn't give him that. So they were onto him. They were expecting a ready-made thing, and he didn't fill the void that Granit Xhaka left. So right at the get-go, you get off on the bad foot kind of thing. So I was happy that this went in. Hopefully this gives him confidence. I hope this gives the whole entire team confidence. And bro, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Deluded, but I think you yourself know we're gonna have a whole lot more because of where we are as a squad and the injuries and what's going on in and around the team. We're gonna have a whole lot more of those 80 minutes. That 80 minutes that we had in that Leicester game, there's gonna be a whole lot more of that in the games going forward. So we just pray. I'm praying that our luck stays up. And if we can have these moments where we can get a little pick me up from an unexpected person, man, you never know. You never know. But I was happy just to get out of that game. 3 points. Performance was not impressive for me.
We are at that point in the season with not just, I feel, in the Premier League anyways for all teams, but obviously kind of what you've alluded to. You know, we don't need to get into the micros. Everyone can understand the macro, what's at place with Arsenal, the injuries, how we have to be a bit push and go. You know, sometimes Sterling might have to start, other times Moreno might start, let alone do a thing off the bench, or have to use Hale End for the 13 games or so we got in the Prem. We're at the point we got to play it by ear. Do you really think his movement was better than Kai Havertz? Is better than Kai Havertz / was better than Kai Havertz, Doc? I think you're being a bit harsh with that one, I must admit.
Okay, saying better than Kai Havertz, maybe that was a bit much. What I probably should have said is I wasn't expecting his movement to be that good in a new role. I mean, this guy's the DM. This guy's the DM. He's reminding me of what's it called? Who was the DM that the guy that we got from Madrid, Baptista, Julio Baptista. He goes from playing DM at Sevilla, then he's striker for us when we signed him for Madrid. So I was more shocked, and I didn't expect that good of spatial awareness with him. It's more, I think the Havertz thing comes from the sense that I personally expected, and I'm sure other Arsenal fans feel this way too. I expected more from Kai Havertz, and he's not what I expected. I expected, Saka goes down, Havertz is gonna pick us up
You
25,
expected a
30
lot more
goals.
from Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
Why? And why would you think that? Respectfully to Kai, because he's actually doing all right. Why? Like, because I've never heard no one say that, so I have to ask why.
So I'm not saying he's doing terrible. It's more I wanted once Saka went down, it's you're looking at who's picking up the slack. Who's picking up the slack? Odegaard. Odegaard has been in and out of the team. When Odegaard's been fit, he's been injured. He's been fit, he's been injured. So Havertz is the one. And I like, by the way, let me just say up front, I like Kai Havertz as a player. I think he's a very good player.
Oh no, you fought his cases plenty of times on this channel. You definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like the guy, and I wanted him just to. I was expecting more from him, Then I wanted him to be the guy that shuts everybody up about this whole 65 whatever nonsense and all that, because it's still lingering. It's still lingering. Again, people thought that we're getting a 30 goal a striker, the 30 goal a season striker. No, Havertz is a midfielder. What he's done for us even this season. I still see people saying, "Oh, Hoyland's better than bro." Havertz is like what? He's in the top 10 for goals, right? He's like he's quite up there in the league. I don't
He's
know
up
where
there. He's
exactly
up
he is.
there.
He's got like
He's
9,
definitely
10
pulled his
goals
weight
in
a
the
lot
league.
more than Højlund. Like Højlund,
Yeah.
nobody cares. Like you got Højlund. As much as I moan about Arsenal, and you shouldn't look at people when I see United and their injuries and where they just look like as a football club. Spurs the same, and going back to Man United when you've got Joshua Zirkzee, who, yeah, you can nutmeg players, but you're not really influencing the game. And the less said about Højlund, the better. We do have to thank our lucky stars for Kai Havertz to a slight degree.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and Arsenal fans aren't going to want to hear that, because that's the player that everybody wants to hate. It's more when he doesn't when he doesn't do well. That's when everybody speaks up. When he does well, people don't praise. They just shut up. They shut up when he does well. Speak up when he doesn't.
The
They don't even
praise isn't
praise
as
kind of
loud
thing.
as the disrespect.
But yeah, it's He's the one that's been disappointment is a hard word, man. Because I mean, he also runs his socks off, and it's just having to. It's the ins and outs of the team, the people around him falling down and getting injured, and then finally he broke down because he just been playing crazy minutes and all.
You ran him
It
into
was
the
it was
ground,
about to
man, like
happen.
several.
Yeah, we did. We certainly did run him into the ground. But yeah, nah, he Havertz, I'm cool with the one that I think we might need to have a discussion about this guy, man, as Arsenal fans. Odegaard. What did you think of that Odegaard performance in that game, bro?
I mean, it's the trials and tribulations of Odegaard this season. He's been hot and cold, man. I think on the goal scoring front, literally, I think it might have been the first or second game of the season. I want to say Wolves. It might be the second. He's struggled in front of goal, but for me, it's
Mm.
his consistent overall influence on the game across 90 minutes. Like it's been there on occasions. Other than that, he's kind of going through the motions. Now Leicester, a bit like what you said, you wanted a bit more from everybody in the midfield. He did do his thing in the second half. But it's kind of more of the same with Odegaard. Like, what sort? You mentioned discussion. What discussion do you want to have around him? Because that's a
I
good
was
breakaway
I
point.
was I was seeing the whole because people got gassed, right? People are loving the armband on Gabriel's arm, man. It's like it's our
Declan
captain,
Rice
bro.
gets a shout. Saka as well. People are saying we should
Yeah,
strip Odegaard of his captaincy.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it just has me thinking, man. It's like, bro, our captain in moments that we've needed him. Yeah, people have been injured and all that, coming back from injury and rhythm and all that. I consider that, and it's fair points and all, but it's
Hasn't played
like,
with Benjamin White
what
and
has
Saka on a
he
consistent basis either on that right hand side.
that? Yep, another thing, the player that he Saka when he's cooking, he usually has Saka to his right. Saka hasn't been there, and it's like, bro, you are our captain. I don't have a game from this season that I can point to and be like, that was the Odegaard game.
Yeah, I'll
That was
push
the
maybe the
game
North
where,
London derby. Other than that, it's maybe City, but everybody was good against City.
ooh, North
I
London,
don't.
London,
Other than that, I'm
North
scratching
London
my head. I
Derby.
think he was superb against City, but everyone was superb. I can't. There probably is some, but I can't tell you a time I thought Ed
He was
Odegaard.
good in the
You
Derby.
put the team on your shoulders, type of thing.
Yeah, and that's what in moments when you're down, bro, in moments when there's no one, we have so many injuries. We have so many injuries. This is the moment where your captain is like, all right, this is the running, boys. We got to be serious here. There's no excuses because, yeah, six players are down, but guess what? At the end of the day, it's the badge on the front that matters. Who starts doesn't matter. We need to win this for Arsenal. I need to step up, put my hand up, be counted, and put a captain's performance in where the stadium is just like, wow, Odegaard really is magic. He just hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. And it's the desperado, it's the desperateness of the situation where we need him in this moment because bro, Ethan has to shoulder the responsibility. A 17-year-old kid that's not even meant to be playing right
You
now.
can't even buy
That
out.
kid
You have
should,
to be 18 to buy alcohol in England. 21
yeah,
in where you live in America. So that tells you everything with
21 in
Ethan.
America. The brother
Can't even get changed with the rest of the
can't even
boys as
change in
well.
the locker room because of laws, because he's too young. He has to get his best friend to come hang out with him because so that he's not lonely, kind of thing. The best friend can go in because he's now 18. But now he's chilling with his best friend Miles because the kid can, and that is the kid that is shouldering all the responsibility in this running. That's the kid that can stand up with his chest out wide and say, yeah, I'm doing my job. I mean,
I'm him.
all those other experienced guys that are on the field, every single one of them should be looking at themselves right now and being like, what the hell is this? Honestly, it's crazy. Our hopes lay on two kids that would, if we had our squad, yes, they
And
would
a
have been on the path to
23-year-old
the
who's
first
not
team. They
fit
would have
at the
been playing.
moment as well. It's mad.
Yeah, they would have been playing in the cup, for the cup team and all that, not in the Premier League. So it's
It's
just
madness.
we're winning, bro. We're winning. Yeah, we won the Leicester one, but that 80 minutes, that performance at 80 minutes is why I'm feeling like this. I should not be high strung after a 2-0 win. I should not be high strung after a 2-0 win. But I've been on a freaking 10 this first 25 minutes that we've been on together after a win, bro.
Let me be devil's advocate and flip it then, Zaya, because you are right, and for what it's worth, I think you're bang on the money. You haven't said anything wrong. But some would say, you know what, that is while we're not winning the league, that is a champion's performance. It's about winning when you're not playing well necessarily.
Bez.
And obviously with the injuries, we've got it through to the end. So could you flip that and say getting 3 points like that actually gives you more confidence that Arsenal could win the league? Because how many times really have we won a game this season in those conditions? I would say maybe Aston Villa in the second half. We weren't the best and we did something. Other than that, I'm kind of scratching my head. We're either great like we were against City, or we kind of turn up how we did against Bournemouth away prior to the red card anyways, and Newcastle away. So could you caveat that and say, you know what, they dug in?
Listen, you know how you have a lighter, right?
Yeah.
So those 2 goals at the end, you know how you have a lighter? It's those 2 goals at the end where the flick that causes the spark, right? That's what that was. That's what that was. The actual performance was pathetic. The last 10 minutes were now, as hope, as you said, right? The spark is the moment. Now what we hope is that when we then spark it and press the thumb down on the actual button, we hope the gas comes out, and it keeps going. And it keeps going. So what that was at the end, because you cannot ignore the first 80. The performance-wise, not great. What that was at the end was the spark. Now, as Arsenal fans, we have to wait until, who do we play? We play West Ham. We play West Ham this weekend. Yeah, we play West Ham this weekend.
West Ham this weekend and Forest midweek next week.
Now we just wait and we play midweek Forest?
Yeah, not this week. So Saturday we play. Then the following week we obviously play Nottingham Forest. And I think the week after that is the Champions League. I actually think the draws for the Champions League is on Friday this week as well, if I remember correctly.
They're playing their return legs for
they'll be playing across Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. So just to answer your question, bro. As if you're the devil advocate thing at as at the end, teams that win when they don't deserve it and all that, we are just praying that we that's a spark, because the first 80, if it was a game where Deluded, where bro, it's just not working. If it was the game where it just wasn't working for 80, right, and then Merino comes in and he then provides so we're playing very well that 80. We just can't get the ball in the back of the net. Merino comes in, he provides the moment where that puts the ball into the back of the net, the header and the thing. I would have been fine. But it's the fact that we played terrible and got out of there. I guess that is the making of a champion team, when you play terrible and got out of there. Now we just pray, with how depleted we are, we pray that spark catches gas.
It's a weird one, Zal, man, because I feel you're bang on the money. I would describe the game as a low-key affair. Obviously, I think had we have drawn, we could have been frustrated, but we couldn't. Obviously, before Moreno come and save the day, and we always criticize Arteta, myself included, about his substitutions and all of that. And I think he doesn't always want to use it. That one, I give you your credit, right? I think had we have drawn, we could have been frustrated, but I think that would have been a quote-unquote fair result. I think Leicester mucked in. I don't feel we created anything. I feel the first 20, 25, maybe half an hour was probably the lowest I kind of was. I didn't feel Leicester created anything until literally the last 30 seconds of the first half. I thought they might score. Second half, as I said, I think there was a bit more of a spark. I think Ethan started banging on the door. He hit the post a couple of times. Obviously, got his assist. Yeah, you mentioned the Merino thing. I don't know how I look at it. I feel on one hand, across the season, I think every team needs to be able to nick games like that. I feel obviously I can't look over the injuries and the minutes in the legs, and like you kind of alluded to with Odegaard, the lack of form. I just think you throw all of that into a mixed drink or a cocktail. I think that's why it happened. Fortunately, we won. And I know many people are, and I want to know your thoughts, like saying Mikel Merino needs to start against West Ham. I'm not against that, because he's had a great game. He can't do any worse than what we've got. Obviously, West Ham are probably more of a physical team. Likewise, though, maybe tired legs, Merino comes on again. I could understand that kind of logic. I just feel personally we have to kind of play it by ear. I want to ask you about, I want to go back to Odegaard, yeah, like, would you strip his captaincy? And two, do you think he could be replaced? And I only say that because I think he can, but I think he can't. I think he's got a very complicated role in that Mikel Arteta system. I think he presses well. I think he is the spark, but his form hasn't been there. It's been topsy-turvy. And you could argue there's other priorities, but you could look to improve that role. So yeah, do you think we could upgrade on Odegaard? And would you clip his captaincy?
Yeah. So on the captaincy thing, it's very easy to have my football manager brain and think that it's just as easy as clicking this button to move it to from this guy to that. But it's the thing about the stripping of captaincy. The guy has friends in the locker room. The guy has people that look up to him. The guy has people that respect him. The guy might have people that don't
Clearly
respect
captain for a
him, kind of
reason.
deal. If you do such a drastic thing like that mid-season. So I think I was emotional after his performances, and I saw that and I found that intriguing. I'm like, oh yeah, and I also like Gabriel, so I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. But realistically, it would not be wise. It would not be wise to change club captain mid-season. We saw it. We saw it with the Aubameyang situation. Those guys are friends. You strip Odegaard of captaincy. Who knows how Havertz, for example, will start feeling best friends
I
with
got stripped of my
with
captaincy in
Odegaard.
Sunday League once, and the next week, yeah, it led to my demise at a certain club. So yeah, it
There it
don't
is.
always
There
end well,
it
man.
is.
It don't,
Deluded
it
was
don't,
on
it don't
there,
end well. It don't end
blowing
well.
up the locker room,
Yeah,
blowing up the
nah,
team
the
chemistry in
locker
the
room was
locker room
cool
in
with me.
Sunday League.
The funny thing is that I was actually cool with who became captain. The locker room liked me. The locker room was still me. The captain was getting a bit upset because they're still asking me questions. But mainly, it was with management. It was a Ray Keane thing. It was only with management. It went left. It went left.
Roy Keane.
Physical
Roy Keane.
disagreement,
What was the
unfortunately.
Island guy's name? Mick McCarthy. Roy Keane and
Yeah,
McCarthy.
like it was
Mike McCarthy.
it was
Mick
a
McCarthy.
physical disagreement with management, which didn't end well. Not for me physically, but it led to my demise and bans and fines and the rest of it. So
Yeah.
it does have a knock on effect. Me, I'm kind of at where I am with Odegaard in the captaincy.
Yeah.
Like a big up, I can never say his name, but he's always here. I'm gonna attempt Scagnetti Jack. Forgive me.
Scanetti Jack.
Yeah, he said in the summer, Declan or Gabriel for me, they're more my captains and whatnot. I wouldn't strip him of it because I mean, and again, I think there's everything with it. But as you said, Zah, he's a big voice in the dressing room. He's clearly been given the captaincy by
You'll
Arteta for a
embarrass the guy.
reason. Yeah, you're embarrassing the guy. And for me, when you look at the Invincibles, the Chelsea sides, the United sides, City when they were doing their thing, you could even say Liverpool. Yeah, you know who's wearing the captaincy, but you knew everyone moves like a captain.
Everyone is
Yeah.
yeah.
And definitely during this Emirates era where let's have it right, for the majority of the time you have not seen captain material. There might be a one or two man. Now there is a few, you've seen Saka wear the captaincy. I hear every logic, and I wouldn't be against Gabriel Magalhaes holding that. Declan Rice, obviously it's more of a peripheral role, but Jorginho's coming on every now and again and getting the captaincy. So there's clearly some sort of mentality from everyone. I just feel Odegaard, at the end, football's fickle, as you know, and if Odegaard starts doing what we all want him to do, no one's going to talk about the captaincy. I wouldn't have given him the captaincy in the first place. I know the squad was different. I think he's more a lead by example guy. I think like Scagnetti Jack is saying, it's more Declan Rice, Gabriel. That's maybe what we're known for.
Guys,
and also what Bron is saying here,
he's telling you to wake up.
Yeah, like more the traditional kind of England thing. But again, we don't know. We're not privy to what he might be doing in and around the dressing room. Yeah, he might be the most vocal guy in the change rooms, and then we just see what we see on TV.
That's what people don't realize. That is the most key time. It's what's happening at Colney is what's the key.
And that's the crazy thing. And I think Bron said a simple but very good point. Like, if we did that now, what does it change? Like, and I think he's got a great question. Like, really, what does it change? Like, maybe you could say it takes the pressure off him, or maybe he curls into a ball even more.
You don't want to, especially in a delicate position that we're in right now, where it's looking bleak, but we're not completely out of it. You don't want to tinker too much. And what is there really to? I mean, I guess captaincy, you can just pick another guy. But once you start tinkering like that, bro, you can just disrupt the team completely. We could go easily from like second to Lord knows when, completely out of it, just from one decision, stripping a guy the captaincy. Now, the other question that you alluded to Is he good enough? Is he replaceable? I like him. I like him as a player. I like him as a player when he's cooking. We saw it. We saw it. We saw it 2 years
We don't
ago.
want your diplomatic answers, sir. We want
We
the
saw.
realness.
Uh,
We don't want diplomats. Diplomats. We want your honest answer. Do you think Odegaard is replaceable?
there is a player in there. There is a player in there. There is a player in there somewhere deluded. There is a player in there somewhere. I've seen it. I saw it 2 years ago. I saw it last year. I just don't know what the hell. Well, I know part of the reason what the hell happened this year. So, Saka out, him and his injuries and all that. So I have seen
And
that
he
there's
didn't
a
wear a
player
condom
out
and he had a
in there
kid now,
somewhere.
innit?
Who who as a 10 though? Who as a 10 is available and ready to roll? Who will elevate us north of realistically elevate us north of what Odegaard gives us that we
All
can
right, all
actually
right. Let
get?
me
I
ask you
don't
this
know.
then, yeah. Let me ask you this, yeah, because we're gonna speak about Ethan, but let me ask you this. Obviously, Ethan's made the
Just a
right
minute.
wing his own. What if, obviously, in this imaginary world, Saka's come back? There's a base level of fitness there. Saka's obviously gonna go on the right. Do you drop Odegaard for Ethan?
A natural progression once Saka's back is Ethan starts moving. So Ethan's not
Especially
so.
let's say it happened today. Saka's back today. Do you drop Odegaard and put Ethan in the 10? And then obviously Saka's gonna take his role.
Let me get this straight. So Ethan for me is not. He's not a starter. Ethan for me is not a starter. He's starting because of circumstances and he's doing very, very well. So full strength, everybody there in my squad planning, my 11, my starting 11, squad planning, full strength, everybody there. Ethan's not in it. Ethan, Ethan, I think we got to be patient with Ethan.
I
I
can't
think
lie, I
we
disagree.
you want him to stop playing 50, throw him in there, stuff. His
Obviously,
ability is there.
no, we gotta be
So
cute. Naturally, we gotta be cute and clever, yeah.
yeah.
But like, if everybody was fit right now, I agree with you. I think you're on the right, path in that. He obviously his format. If everyone was fit, and in some circumstances he was starting right now, he's deserving to keep starting. But naturally, he's 17. You want to be a bit cute and clever with him. But then that's my initial thoughts where I'm with you. But then I'm looking at it now. Probably a bit of recency bias, yeah. Obviously, Mikel Arteta said long term he can be a 9. He's currently doing his thing on the right hand side, and you need to be versatile in the modern day. He could be an 8 or a 10 long term. Now, at present, I think he would struggle on a consistent basis as a 10. I think when you look at the games in the cups when he scored, especially against Bolton, he could do a thing. I think in an Arsenal team, anyways, the best chances are to the wide men, in it. Like that's where you get your 1v1s and all of that. He's gonna be more congested, but that's a natural learning curve, right? But then I deeped it. Obviously, more to do with Trossard and Martinelli's form and where we're at with Gabriel Jesus. If everybody's fit, Saka on the right, Odegaard through the 10. And I know Pete, we haven't seen him there, but is Ethan operating off that left-hand side the worst of options in when you look at Martinelli or Trossard? Is it the worst? That's why I said I agree with you. But then I look at recency bias. I might say, you know what, Ethan, the left-hand side, at least to the end of the season, like you can mix and blend in a number of roles. I don't know though.
And that's what he has going for him currently. That's what he really has going for him currently. That he is the main guy. He is in terms of playing right now. Ethan is the number one guy in our attack and midfield area. But
Good problems, isn't it?
yeah, moving him around. So because that's happening, and we have holes in our team. That's actually the thing, is that we have holes in our team. What Ethan's doing now is he is providing the argument for those holes in the team. So wherever there's a hole in the team that's not kicking, Saka's injured. Saka ain't playing. Oh, Ethan now has to be the
I
right
was
winger.
crying for him on the left at one point this
Saka,
season. I can't lie.
Saka comes back. I guarantee you, because Saka has to play. Everybody loves Saka, so Saka has to start. Saka comes back. Ethan now, people will look for him to go fill in that next hole that we have. It's good in the sense that he's getting out there, he's getting his name out there and all that. But the other downside is you don't really nail down what you are in the team. You become the plug it and fix guy or whatever. Because going throughout the whole season, you
Saka
will
had
always
that for a while.
exactly. He was filling in the left back, left wing back, right wing, left wing, filling in every.
Sure,
So
Arteta
that's
even
now
played
what.
him centre mid a couple times as well. I'm so
And
sure
I
with
feel,
Saka.
and it's like it feels like it's just like a rite of passage for young kids. That's what as a youngster. That's Lewis Kelly's doing it right now. Lewis
Lewis
Kelly's a central
Kelly as
midfielder
well. You get him where you can play, bro, and
playing
they're
left.
doing very well.
Exactly, and so that's what's gonna keep. That's what's gonna keep going on with Ethan. I foresee that happening in the immediate future. Where do I see him as an actual player, bro? His close
Mm.
control is
Bro, that
unbelievable.
left
His close
foot, his
control
finish,
is
everything, man.
unbelievable.
Big up Lewis
Where,
Kelly, and who made a great defensive action against Leicester as well. We can't forget
yep,
that.
the
We have to big
deflection
him
at the
up.
back post saved
Yeah,
us.
Ethan. Do you know what
Yep.
it's for me? It's away from. There's one thing having potential and being great. You're giving consistency. There's a level of expectation from you on top of you playing with confidence and like.
Brother, we
Quality
are
player.
deluded. We are being kept alive. We are being kept alive in this race by a 17-year-old.
Well, I don't know if we're still in the race. We'll get on to that. I disagree. I don't know. I don't know if we're in the race.
We're alive. We're alive. We're alive, dude. We're alive.
Are we alive or are we alive or are we on life
We're
support?
hanging on.
And
We're hanging on.
yeah, like are the doctors coming to you and saying, you know what, we might have to turn off the machine? I don't know.
We're hanging on. And it's because
we're
of
just about hanging on. Where do you think Ethan ends up though? Like,
but his future.
Because
So
you look at
that's where I was
Foden, he can play everywhere, but people say
where I was
that
actually going to land with my point that we're shifting him now in his early career, where he's getting minutes where he can play in his early career. But where do I see him as a player? Me personally, I could be wrong. Arteta could have different ideas. That Odegaard role is his. That Odegaard role is his. Give it.
maybe Odegaard in the
And
eight.
that's the thing is that
there's some good
he's
problems
young.
now.
He can do this filling in. He can do this filling in nonsense. He can do this filling in nonsense for another 2-3 years, bro. Another 2-3 years for a 17-year-old that's 19, 20. And then in 2-3 years, we can look and see where we're at. I don't know how long Odegaard's contract is. We can look and see where we're at with Odegaard.
I think we've got some good problems, man, because I would imagine 9 times out of 10, even going into next season, you're going to see Odegaard in the 10 or 8.5, Rice is the 8, and then obviously I'd imagine Zubimendi, or we could assume Partey if he stays in that role. But equally, I think there's scope. Yeah, I think there's scope for either Rice or Zubimendi to be a lone 6, and you could have Ethan and Odegaard, or even Declan Rice as rotating 8. Obviously, Lewis Kelly can play as a 6, and I hope to see him get game time in midfield. But as you said, when you've got young players able to play everywhere, which is a prerequisite in the modern day, and doing well, I can't praise them enough. I do want to ask you 2 more questions in relation to Ethan, yeah, because I only asked you where you see him end up to ask you this. Let's assume that the right wing is his. That's what he's going to be long term. He can play everywhere, but right wing, like Saka, right wing's his bread and butter. Right?
So what do we do with Saka then?
What happens? What happens? Like, let's assume we get to a point now. Ethan, let's say he's 19, he's still young, but he's a starter now, capped 1-2 times for England. He's making a difference in the Prem. He's announced himself. You've got 2 players that I'm sure are happy to just play for Arsenal, and yeah, you got to rotate and everything. But it's Saka or Ethan for that right wing. Where are we at? Because he does look like the shiny new toy. Some even saying he's more talented than Saka at the moment.
That's tough. That's the thing, right? Technically, Ethan technically does the things that are more easy on the eye. Whereas Saka, brother, Saka gets disrespected, man. Saka is so efficient in what he does.
And people try and say Saka's not pleasing on the eye. They're lying. Yes, he's not Ronaldinho, but it's a lie, man. It's a lie.
He is so efficient at what he does, and Saka is a producer. That's the thing about Saka, is he is a producer. Quickest way. It's none of this, these circles and all that. He finds the most efficient way to get down into that field, down that wing, to either take you byline and hit it with his right, or cut in and aim for the top corner with his left.
Aim for the top corner or that back pulse. A bit ironically, like Ethan's getting a bit inevitable in that regard as well.
Now Ethan is doing that same thing, but with a bit more zhuzh, a bit more flair. So Ethan, when he cuts in, where Saka will cut in then hit immediately, Ethan will cut in, feint, get you off balance with that one, drag it across a bit more, and then whip it around. So they're one is more efficient, one is more techie and all. ability-wise, I hate this whole nonsense because I always think it doesn't make sense. The ceiling, this whole ceiling nonsense, higher ceiling, whatever. But if I was gonna do that higher ceiling stuff,
This is the only guy I want compared to Saka, by the way, folks. I will say that because all the other peasants they compare Saka with
who
didn't
has a
match
who
up, so we
has
had
a,
to make it
Ethan
home.
has a higher ceiling, right? Ethan has a high ceiling. Ethan has.
I don't know.
Ethan,
I don't know. I don't know
Ethan
about
has
this
a high
ceiling
ceiling.
thing. Naturally, Ethan, I think Ethan can go as far as his talent can take him. I think the world's his oyster. But you're 17. It's one thing having that potential. It's another thing realizing it. And I think what people, when people talk about Saka and all of this, the reason Saka is Saka at 23, he's captain this country, captain the club, plays for country and a key player, is the decision making. He's become inevitable. You're getting X amount of goals, X amount of assists. He's turning up in big games, clearly intelligent as well. Don't know how he does it, but gets better and better across 90 minutes and just in general. Deals with the expectation. I couldn't tell you because I don't even think you got to remember Saka's 23. Wenger always says this when players arrive. The other time was playtime for Saka. Now it's I'm here, and Saka's even becoming a villain now. So I don't know. I don't know about the ceiling.
He's probably here for 10 more years.
I hope so. I think we need to win some things. I hope so.
I know Saka's a career. He's a career. This whole,
you reckon
and that's another thing. That's another thing. These Twitter eggs think it's just all about it's white and black. It's all about trophy. This brother. These guys want to be happy as humans. Arsenal.
As well, Saka. But
I mean, trophies do make you happy, but at the end of the day, happiness. But yeah, no, Ethan. That's a tough one, man. It's Ethan special. Ethan really.
Notice how he hasn't answered the question yet, people. It's a tough one.
You're asking me about my 2 sons.
yeah, no, give your 2 cents, but we all want to know like
You're
the
asking
answer
me about my 2 sons.
Now keep your 2 cents.
I can't answer this question.
Because then sometimes you got to answer difficult questions. I think that's one which you got to answer, and then some people would say Saliba or Gabriel if you had to tell one.
So you know what I'd say? I'm gonna cop out here.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna cop out here. I think Ethan takes that right. Saka's game is transferable on the right, or I think. So I think Saka. So I would say on the right.
You're moving Big Bukayo Saka for even.
Bro, I'm trying to jump through.
Well, that's what someone say. Put Saka on the left. I'm not against it, but that's a disrespect. Mohamed Salah ain't getting moved for no one.
So on the right, Saka's better right now. I think they're going to be the same on the right. But if we go to the left, I think Saka would be better on the left.
True, but I think even because I remember I was calling for that earlier in the season. I can't remember the context around it, whether it was Martinelli and Trossard stinking up the place or there was injuries. Like, ironically, I don't know why, but my first bias when I think of Arsenal's left-hand side, contrary to popular belief, I know everyone gets onto me for loving Martinelli. For some reason, it's actually Gabriel Jesus, then Martinelli, then Trossard. Obviously, Trossard, and I'm a bit hypocritical because I'll put Trossard there first, in it. But then there was times where I reckon Ethan can do it. Obviously, the angles and the positioning is changing. Him cutting onto his right foot isn't the same as his left. And as much as I think Ethan's future is as a 10 or an 8, and Arteta's been talking about a striker, I think you can make a real good goal of that right wing. Maybe I'm getting excited, but you look at the City game, you look at the Leicester game, you look at everyone forgets it now because he keeps doing madness. But the Girona one. There's just something. I just think Ethan, he has to learn to play in tight areas. But when you look at Iwobi, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jack Wilshere, Aaron Ramsey, this is just a natural graduation. It will happen. These are good problems to have.
Yeah. Nah, he will. Him realistically, because of his tech level, I think he'll end up more centrally than stay on the wing. Unlike the Iwobis, and who's doing very well, by the way, at Fulham. I used to love Alex Iwobi. Him and all that, but nah, Ethan, bro, we really do. I'm trying to. He might be. I'm trying to think back. Who came out of Hale End? As far as it's looking right now, this is crazy to say because Saka kicked on a little later. Saka kicked on when he was a bit older than Ethan. Ethan might be the best. He might be the best out of Hale End.
I've heard that before, man.
So far. So the one that has me thinking twice, who I think might be
in recent years,
a bit better.
Tony Adams in that.
Just better than him. I'll probably say Jack Wilshere, but I mean, what other academy products do we have? We have the
Talent
Jack
wise,
Wilshere,
I still reckon it's Jack Wilshere. You know, I'll be honest,
Smith
but like
Rowe.
they've all gone
Jack
off the bench.
Wilshere was nasty,
No,
bro. Jack
he
Wilshere.
was like it's obviously I don't know how people look at Jack Wilshere's career because on
Jack
one
was
hand he's been capped
unbelievable.
by his country, come through the academy, played for England, won trophies. These are things that are not a given, but at the same time, injuries fucked that man up. He was 16, moving like a veteran. Arsenal
Bro,
fans we waffle about Barca. I still think it's Wilshere, but I've heard that around Saka, around Smith Rowe, around Reece Nelson, and around Nathan. I want to keep hearing that, man.
Reece was good. Reece was good in the
I don't
academy.
know what
Then,
happened
then
to
he got
Reece,
injured.
man.
Then he got injured. Reese's problem is
He's injured again as well, man. Speedy recovery
yeah,
to him and
I saw
everyone.
he just had to get the operation. But once he got that one injury when he was in the youth team, and that just because he was the other one that they were talking about as what's it called. But yeah, no, Wilshere. I'll say Wilshere just pips him. But to say, because I'm trying to think back, who were the early younger. I mean, the Adams. I didn't see Adams coming out of the academy. I was too young for
You got
that. I
Mr.
was trying to
Ashley
think.
Cole. I know
Ashley
people won't want to
Cole.
hear that.
Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole. But at that time, man, because there was no internet and all that, the news coming out of the academy, especially for us guys that ain't now, I can keep up with everything going on in the academy because of the internet and all that. Us guys that aren't aren't able to go to like Boreham Wood, you can't really keep up with anything. You couldn't keep up with
In a
what
couple
was
of years,
going
we'll
on
be
there.
having these conversations all about
Max
young Max
Dalman,
Dolman.
they keep saying
But
the
again,
best one is yet to come.
with Ethan, with Max, I think I know it's difficult not to be excited, but I just
Dalman is
think we
the
have to
one.
let them be kids.
Bro, at the academy, Dauman is the one they even more excited about Dauman than they are about what's his name, about Ethan.
I don't say this all the time, but that Max Dalman kid, and he is a kid, we need to take our time. Obviously, when you're seeing him fly and train with Arsenal's first team, he's genuinely a generational talent. You see a lot of players that are hyped, and I always think, what the hell, he's worth the hype. Now he's gonna have to
proper.
prove it.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to realize it. That brother could be better could be up there with the JWs and all these people. Like he's fucking amazing. I'll be amazed if he doesn't make his debut by the time he's 16, similar to Ethan. Genuinely. And then you got this comment, people thinking Odegaard could be phased out if that's the case.
I think it's starting to, because Odegaard's 20, 25, 26?
Yeah, but are we getting back in that trap, Zar? Because when we see these injuries,
26. No, but it's more so the Odegaard thing, right? It's more. I would think it's just to get some, because if we have, here's the thing, bro, and that's this is another thing that we got to start thinking about. What I was saying about
because he's still young himself,
scaling back Ethan. Once they've had a taste, now Ethan has to be a starter because he's had the taste. To now tell him, yo, come back and be a squad player, he would say no or demand more money. We're going to have to make space for Ethan at some time. It's a great problem to have. I would say I don't know how much longer he has left. This should be Odegaard's last contract.
Oh wow, come on, man.
Odegaard's last contract.
We waffle about depth.
Get resale value in 2 years.
Yeah, but then we waffle about our depth, bro. We waffle about our depth and needing a big squad. And then I'm doing it, you're doing it. We do this thing where we start to make our great 11s, and then this one's got to go, and that one's got to go.
Okay,
I do think we'll make money off
the price of that. Then Deluded, right? If you want depth, guess what? To sit on the bench, wages up.
We're gonna need to. You know my thoughts on that, anyways. Though we're gonna have to do that. We're not City,
you're gonna have
but
to start paying these. Because I mean, look at City. City have a guy getting paid £350,000 a
week. And think about
City
in their prime, bro. When they had Bernard. Well, at some point there was Bernardo, there was Kevin, there was this one, there was that one. Like, yeah, like if you want to start, go on.
If we want that kind of depth, we're gonna have to break our wage structure, our wage model with the owners. I mean, I'm all for it. Trust me, I
We
want I
already
want
broke
all
the
23 to be
first
there.
professional contract for Ethan. We already broke our traditional
Yeah,
rules. If we want to go into a realm that we've never
exactly,
been in, we're gonna have to behave like a side. Obviously, we're not
exactly.
gonna do the City thing and the Chelsea thing. We're gonna need to have some sort of remit.
Ah,
And you are right, people can
Cronky
leave.
needs to. Nah, Cronky has 30 billion. I want him to pay up. What is he gonna do with his 30 billion? Go to you can't what? Put it in his coffin as he goes to go die with it, brother. Start paying people. Start buying me strikers. Start paying wages. We need to win.
If there's one thing I would say, I think the Ethans, the Lewis Kellys, obviously naturally Saka, the more young ones. I don't think the Cronkies waste time with giving these lot what they want because they get horny when they see resale value, they see dollars. But you are right, we're gonna have to start being that. And I do think Hyper's right in general, how football fans can be a bit fickle in that regards.
I've always been a five guy. I've always been a Partey guy. I've always been a Partey guy.
You keeping
Partey.
him
I
next
mean,
year.
I've been saying it this entire season. Partey has been our best midfielder this season.
Are you keeping him?
What? So we have Miles, and that's the
We,
thing because we're
we don't
losing.
even
Because
know if
in
Miles.
theory,
We need to put asterisks next to Miles in midfield because we haven't seen it organically yet.
in
The same
midfield, true.
asterisk next to Kai Havertz, asterisk next to Fabio Vieira because we don't know what we're gonna see. Marino is gonna be here. Rice is gonna be here. We're
If
probably
he
gonna bring in Zubamendi or something. So that's about 6 men that can play there. Then if
if
you give Partey a deal, and these men can play everywhere. Partey's played right back.
if he accepts the old man deal, if he accepts the I want to stay in London deal where he's not a starter, then yeah, I'm fine. I like Partey. I like Partey. He'll
I'm,
be good for depth. He's very useful in midfield. Not the right back thing needs to end right now. It needs to end today. He should never play right back again. In midfield, he's unbelievable.
I only want to see him in at right back if Arteta wants to go back to that in games where we're not going to be tested. I agree with you.
Yeah,
Like the man should be in midfield. I just think it might be with Partey. I don't want to talk about this off the field issues, but that might be playing a part. And I just
yeah. I
think,
don't. I
yeah,
I don't
I
deal
think
in
Arteta
speculation.
likes him.
Deluded.
Yeah, no, we come on, man. We're
You
PC here.
never know. You don't know what's true. You don't know
Yeah,
what's not
exactly.
true.
It's all whispers and smoke and mirrors. I just think they're looking at it. I genuinely think Arteta fucking loves Partey because any other player, I'm sure he would have been pissed off with these
Yeah,
injuries. I think he flipping loves him. It's one thing talking about Partey playing
he's
right
a
back
good
when no
player,
one's.
bro. He's a good player.
He's a good player, but He played him last year right back unprovoked. It wasn't like this time when there's injuries. He loves the man. The man barely played last season, but as soon as he was fit towards the running, he played right. I just think the club will say, do you know what? We want to get Sesko. Well, they said to Arteta, you want to get Sesko. You want to do this at left wing. You want to do this in midfield. You have to get the new deals for Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and yada, yada, yada. Partey's on 200 odd a week. We've only really had 2 seasons of real longevity across a season. What, 2022, 23, and up until this point at the moment with Partey in terms of being fit, I think they're just going to say
Playing
safe.
for the contract.
Yeah, because he could be. And you got to remember, Zaya, we don't have any evidence of this, but Partey's in the realm, I think, with Gabriel Jesus. In the last 2 summers, I don't think the club's forced them out. Like, you have to leave. But they're making it known, yo, if there's offers, let us know, Saudi. Let's
Yeah,
make
because he
something
flirted.
happen.
He flirted with Saudi. Yeah,
He flirted, but for one reason or another, it never happened. I'm on keeping
London, bro.
Partey, but then I do wonder because I'm with you with the depth and the squad and all of that and that stuff, yeah. But Partey strikes me as one of them. You could say every player, even Sterling. He's one of them players. He's not a plug-and-play kind of player, if that makes sense. He's one that you play him for 4 or 5 games, he might be a bit indifferent. By the 6th to the 10th, he's out of this world.
GP
So
money.
you're never
Yep.
gonna kind of get that next season, surely.
Yeah. If we actually do what's rumored or what the Cronkies are telling us to be excited about, then yeah,
Don't
that
hold your breath,
becomes
man.
the as Bron Breaker over here is alluding to. Zubamendi and them then provide that problem. But I like him. He's a rhythm guy, and again, I've been singing his praises this entire season from a consistency perspective. From the Wolves at home 2-0 game. That was the first. Yeah, Wolves at home 2-0 game, first game of the season, up until Leicester 2-0 away. He has been our best midfielder this season.
Do you think he is playing for a new contract? Like, seriously?
Yeah, of course. The guy wants to stay. Charlie wants to stay in London, my friend. These guys love London. Look at what we've been doing with these
Man
Chelsea
said
guys that
Chalet,
love London. Bro, that guy loves London. He wants to stay. This good Ghanaian food in London. It's close to what? Accra is 6 hours away, 7 hours away on an A380. 6, 7 hours away. You got Harrods over there. The missus is happy going shopping at Harrods every bro. London is an attraction. That's why we're paying. Kai Havertz 280,000 pounds a week because his girlfriend wanted to stay in, or his wife or whatever she is wanted to stay in London. It's a big attraction. Jorginho still. All those other guys. Willian did the circle. He did the circle in London because he didn't want to leave. Us, Chelsea, Fulham.
Facts.
Yeah,
People
London.
forget that, you know. People forget that. I think for as good as and big as of a club as Liverpool is, and I'm sure there's other factors, I do think that goes against them. The fact that I'm not saying Liverpool's not a nice area, but London,
brother,
it's exciting.
That is our biggest asset. That is our biggest asset, our biggest non-footballing asset in attracting anybody. London.
Because you might again as well.
Boom.
You can link
There
up
you
with
go.
your other
What is this guy doing? What is Isak doing? I went up to Newcastle. There is nothing going on up there. There is nothing going on.
They got 24-hour Greggs, man.
There's nothing going on in that town. What is he doing up there? Come to London.
You got to put down the P's, man. Like, do you think the club? My last question for you, then, before I let you shoot off, yeah. Like, do you think the club are setting themselves up for failure in the sense of? I think most balanced Arsenal fans are not expecting everybody who needs to leave, and everyone to come in that we need to come in. But when you see what we did in the summer, when you see what we did in Jan, when you see how the briefs are coming out, you know, we're linked with, you know, Isak's a dream, but the Isaks, the Sescos, the Zubamendi, the Nico Williams, that's 3 areas off the bat with release clauses that we need to address. Do you think the club are setting themselves up for failure in that if they don't deliver? We got to remember there's no sporting director.
So here's the thing. Based off history, I cannot trust anything Arsenal. I cannot trust Arsenal to do the right thing, in my opinion. I can't trust Arsenal, in my opinion, to do the right thing in the transfer window, right? Because historically, especially in recent history, where every single one of our primary targets, every single one of the guys that we've been chasing, we didn't get. We always get the secondary target. We wanted Mudryk, we got Trossard. We wanted Isaac, we didn't get nothing. We wanted this player, we didn't get nothing. So I can't really trust them in that sense. Additionally, what we did, we are going to feel what we did this year. We took a year off. We took a year off doing transfers and stuff like that. We took 2 windows off where we weren't
dropped
serious.
the ball in the last 2 windows, man.
You
had a last chance to do pit stop in January, and we didn't do anything. Like, there's no way of shaping it. Doing nothing is also a risk for those that say overpaying or going for a target you're not convinced on is a risk as well. And we've seen what's not signing people does for us, but that's just my 2 pence, though, man.
We go from needing, right? So we took these 2 windows off. We need a goalkeeper. We need a winger. We need a striker. We need a central midfielder or 2, because Jorginho and Partey, Jorginho and Partey gone. Wingers, we need the backups.
I don't think we're gonna sign one.
So that's already 6. That's already 6, 7 positions that I said we need. Do you trust your club? Let me ask you this, Deluded, right? Because we took the window off while Man City went and got a very young, good defender. They got another very young, good defender.
That's what I was going to say on big
hottest young striker.
Bro,
things are still happening around us. So we're taking time off. Things are still happening around us.
I was going to say this on Igal stream, yeah. Like, we should have signed Marmoush, but again, that's neither here nor there. Pep Guardiola was speaking about Marmoush, and obviously I like the player. I think he's great. All of that, 50, 60 million, we could have done that. But it's the way he was speaking. He said the chief executive or the sporting director, whatever had you at City, is like, he came to me and said, we need to sign Marmoush. I said, okay, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to do my research. You've never heard that around Arsenal. You've never heard Dons above. It's Arteta or bust, rightly or wrongly. Like, these lot are not moving. I need to move.
So we need all those players, right? Let me ask you this, a very simple question. And by the way, all those positions we need guys, because again, stuff around us ain't staying constant. Other teams are getting better. Chelsea's getting better. City's getting better. Everyone's getting better. Do you trust your club to get six? I mentioned 6 positions or 6 guys we need. 6 level raises. Not plug-in, level raises in one window. Do you trust? They haven't gotten me a level raise in Lord knows how long.
No, I don't think they're gonna do that. At the very minimum, I'd say you need 3 level raises. If I had to add an Arsenal discount, I think that central midfielder. I don't think we're signing the winger, but that winger and undoubtedly the forward to go with. You know, I think Trossard, the Kai Havertz is differently, but Ethan,
is he signing a contract?
Trossard, I don't know. These men should be squad players. Obviously, if Trossard isn't signing a new deal, then I think there's a decision to make. I'd actually keep Trossard. I think he's cool for the squad. I understand if we have to sell to buy. Yeah, like Trossard, I'm not being funny, but like some of the rhetoric around Trossard has scared me, really. It's like Trossard is a rotationary option and he's a good player at that. We'll find, I know squads are always evolving and we might need to sell Partey. If Trossard doesn't like the term, something has to happen. But I think if Trossard, Kai Havertz, Martinelli are demoted to squad players, and again, I say that with a disclaimer, if your form is out of this world, like you've seen with Kai at times, like you've seen with Ethan, then you start. You know, it's your place to lose. But I think if we had them in the squad and had level raises, we'll be all right. Where I'm with you in that, I just don't think we're going to do it all. I think we'll make some good sales, but we'll do nonsense. And there's no sporting director.
Even the sales, bro. The sales are contracts running out.
And it's even tough sales.
Selling guys.
Because we could say Zinni needs to leave, right? And I think Zinni will leave and he'll have offers. But it's not guaranteed. What if he turns around and says, you know what? I want to fight for my spot at Arsenal. I'm not getting these wages. What if Arsenal don't get the certain offers? People want to sell Tomiyasu. And with his fitness, I can't say that's wrong.
How do you sell Tomiyasu?
How do you sell someone that's not... Exactly. How do you drop that?
That guy, as soon as that injury setback happened, that guy is an Arsenal lifer until his contract is done.
You've still got you still got Fabio Vieira and Reece Nelson on the books. So that's going to have to be dealt with. I think Nelson got injured. I think Nelson could get a move if he wants. The problem is, I think he's easy for Arteta to lie to. I think if Arteta sweetens him up, he'll stay. But I think there's that. So it's like Gabriel Jesus. It's no point getting involved. His ACL's done at this moment. That's a myth. So it's one thing saying sell these duns, but it's another thing of saying like, will we get the right offers? Obviously, will they, will we get the right offers? Will they want to move on? It's quite techie. And then we're going to hear the FFP thing. This is why I asked my club. I just have, and I don't know how you do it. And I'm happy I'm not you. I just got 2 requirements. That starting 11. Just get me a striker. Get me a centre mid. Get me a winger. Those are my level raises. And make sure we got that.
Right?
We're going to have to what?
We're going to have to sell someone soon.
Who though?
That's the question. But
and for what reason? Unless they want to leave because they're not winning trophies. Who?
Net spend.
Madrid is a given.
FFP and
But then you hear with this FFP stuff that is some reports say we're in issues with FFP. Others say we're cool. It's the club that actively want to maneuver how we're maneuvering.
Cronky, brother. I've been telling you guys, this Cronky guy, we are not going to. This guy is running us like the freaking Rams. That's what this guy is interested in. He's running us like the Rams. It's an Arsenal now.
Arteta's going to have to work within that remit.
Arsenal is not a football club anymore, Deluded. Arsenal is an entertainment entity. That's what we are.
We're a business as much as it kills me. And that's where I look at it 2 hands with Arteta, because on one hand, I think Arteta is crippled by the Cronkies, and I think any manager would be really and truly. I can't sit here and blame the Cronkies as to why we didn't get the trophy last year over the line. And I also feel, for as much as I have more respect for Arteta than the owners, at the end of the day, no one put a gun to your head to take this job. This ain't a woe is me thing. You are the manager. You have had a lot more flexibility than at Emery. So I'm not saying he isn't, but if it becomes abundantly clear that Arteta, within the remit of the Cronkies and, not really wanting to win leagues and that, if you can't get over the line, then we might have to look somewhere else. I'm not saying this has to happen this year, but my thing is, how many years are we going to be there in
one more season?
I don't know, man, because how long are we going to be here saying, like, explaining and saying he's doing this and that?
I can't defend this guy for another year, dude.
Because because at the same time, you've had a lot of freedom. If it's either you've had a lot of freedom or you can't work, you can't get us to where we need to get to within the remit. And it's a bit of a techie one because we're still second. We're still 15 games without losing, even though we've had all these injuries. And I'm not saying that to praise us necessarily. I'm saying that as we've got a fucking base here. Like, even people that are negative about Arsenal, you can be negative or as positive as you want. You don't need to behave like we're shit. There's actually something here, and that's what hurts me the most. In that, where I want us to go, the Prem League titles, get into finals, it's here. We're here. But you see, it's easier to go from back-to-back 8th to 4th, innit? But where the league things here, we're here. But you see this little jump, it's like that. It's a big jump. You have to, it's the small margins. It's really controlling the controllables. And it just feels like we need a lot of factors to go right.
100 million striker, was £100 million striker right there is what it was.
Exactly.
What it was the beginning of this year and last year, but
even this comment, like Jorginho's gonna leave, so there's no selling him. Zinni could be moved on. Kivio will probably leave. You can't still have
these guys live in dreamland.
London, 200 odd grand a week. He ain't cutting nowhere.
Who's paying Havertz?
You have to pray Bayern Munich or one of them clubs coming for him. So it's a myth, man. It's a myth.
And Bayern Munich ain't paying him 300k.
Exactly. It's not gonna happen.
They got a younger player. They will have a younger player that might be as good or even better than Havertz interested in them.
If Saudi throw the bag at Trossard, then we've got a decision to make. But I don't know if I would sanction Trossard leaving without knowing the wingers coming in. I'm not gonna lie, especially because there's no Jesus as a body.
Especially the experienced ones. Our only hope is they're interested in Saudi. That's it.
Exactly. And it's always, even the ones that are linked with moves, it's like they're half leaving, but they're half staying. Like I don't know, man. Zara, my last question for you before I let you get out of here. I ask you this every stream, yeah. Can we still win the league?
Yes. And it's based off what I saw in that Liverpool game, bro. Liverpool are winning games. Liverpool are winning games because the referees are. I'm not even trying to do the whole blame thing. Whatever they won, that's it. But they're getting favorable calls. Ibrahima Konate should have been gone. No one can tell me otherwise. He should have gotten a red card. I am not even hearing this whole Twitter talk. The whole cry more. This that.
There was a handball in the Merseyside derby, but hey.
Period. Red card. Period. The Wolves. No, the Wolves game.
No, I'm saying in the Merseyside game as well. That's two in the
Merseyside derby too. Yeah, in the Merseyside derby. Exactly. That's two games.
But to be fair, decisions went for and against Liverpool and Everton. But yeah,
that is true. That one was the Merseyside one was thing. The Wolves one was a bit more clear cut. But do I think we can? We're gonna need a whole lot more luck. I'm hoping a game by game thing, game by game. So right now, I still do believe. However, if we wobble, we can't afford to wobble.
What gives you that belief?
No more wobbles. Brother, I thought we're dead and gone. I thought we're dead and gone against Leicester. I almost broke my TV. I was so frustrated during that Leicester game. I almost broke my TV. We're dead and gone. And then all of a sudden, Mikel Arteta had Mikel Merino up his back pocket. I was shocked. I didn't even see that coming. Boom. So it's stuff like that. What does he have for me next game when it's not working? Start the same three. What do you have for me off the bench the next game when it ain't working? That's what I still do. Do you believe? Where's your belief level at?
I believe it. I believe in anything in life, man. Like if we just keep winning games, you never know, man. For me, on a serious note, away from the PR, I don't believe we're going to win the league in the sense of any time like in football in life, when variables are out of my control and you're at the mercy of an external party, which we are with Liverpool. Yeah, I have to look at it with a pinch of salt. I think too much has to go right. That being said,
we're praying for 3 losses.
Praying for a lot, exactly, and assuming that we win all our games.
And us winning, not keeping
exactly with all the injuries. But it's a weird one for me because, speaking for myself, I don't think we're going to win the league. I can be angry about the summer transfer window. I think Arteta's made some mistakes. I think the players are letting down. I think the Cronkies don't want to do whatever, even though they can't be blamed for everything. The ref staff, the red cards. If you factor in all of that, people, and understand that I understand that and my viewpoint, then I park that on one side and say, do you know what? It's not even a blind hope or blind optimism thing. It's like, fuck it, man. Just try in it until like just fuck it in it. Just celebrate the boys to the support. Sorry, the boys to the end. What shall be, shall be. If I don't think we're winning the league, I can't be disappointed. We hope for a miracle. We prepare for the worst in it, and unfortunately, as an Arsenal fan, we're in that stage of next season and the summer and the war chest, and we'll be here again, man. Like, and it's a shame because, as I said, we ain't lost in 15. We were unbeaten in 15. We've got 2 losses this season. There's, we've shown there's so much positive statistics around this club to show there's a good base. If we just did certain things differently, we can realize our potential. But then that's when I look at it from a sporting front. When I attempt, bearing in mind I'm not a fly on the wall, I try and see, the summer market on reflection, that's horrible for a team that finished 2 points off City. January, we did nothing. I kind of have to scale back my expectations. And I just feel if we are to win a league, there's too much in a year that has to go right. And I think this will be the third year of, unfortunately, us having to do a lot of context and explaining and the rest of it's all, man. But fingers, toes, everything crossed. Whatever religion you lot are from, boy, pray to your gods, man. We're going to need everything, man. Like,
have it all crossed. Have it all crossed. Yeah, I'll give you my final answer after these next 3 games for Liverpool. They have Villa, City, and Newcastle. That will tell me everything I need to know.
I mean, on paper, if there were games where you think, oh, Liverpool could do whatever, fair enough. And I'd love to get to the Champions League. I'd prefer to win the Champs over the Prem, but I actually think there's more chance of winning the Prem than the Champs. So
I actually think the other way.
Listen, as long as it means some silverware.
I think we're more built right now. We're more built for the Champions League than the Premier League. I think.
I wish I could back that. And to go to your comment and to finally wrap up, I hope Sterling can, man, because the football's fickle. I don't think many balanced fans will think Sterling's the best thing since sliced bread. But if he bags against West Ham and he goes on a bit of form,
jersey.
Yeah,
if he carries us,
I ain't buying no number 30.
I'm gonna go on record right now. Clip me, whatever. If he carries us to either a title or a Champions League, I'm buying his jersey. I'm buying Sterling 30.
I mean, I'm here for it, man. But Sterling, I think we're finished, bro. Yeah, man said buy his jersey. Sterling, I think you're finished. But I do, whatever I always say, regardless of if I rate a footballer or not, once you play for my football team, I want you to do the best. And you'll have my support and you'll get praised or critiqued appropriately, man. So I'll let people know they can find you, man.
At the Midget Zimbo, TikTok, Instagram, X, everywhere.
Every time you mention TikTok, I just think this guy's a madman.
You know what? Go check out the last one I put out. I got a mad one for you right there. Someone asked me a question that I answered.
What is it, Brazy? Because I need to approach your TikTok. Needs to be approached with caution.
It is a crazy one.
So
it's
make sure you're
the craziest question I've answered.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna be disgusted, people. But yeah, make sure you're following Zar. I'm back at 5 p.m. Zar, big up yourself. Sorry you missed your nephew's game. Hopefully they got silverware, unlike Spurs. In a bit,
they haven't come to the car, so I'm guessing they're still playing. So I'll go check.
Yeah, man, go run out there and go pre them, man.
There it is. Deluded, bro. Like always, my bro. I've always got time for you. Had a good time in their chat. Make sure you like, share, all the good stuff.
Come on. And we'll link up next week, man. Hopefully we're still positive.
Absolutely, my bro. We'll see ya.
Come on, my dude. Peace.
Always just like, I think it's like